Hey Libra, this is your December Sagittarius season, a little bit too much, reading. Before we get started, all information to work with me is below. Second part to this reading, which is where we take a deeper look at the cards and we go through more on a Patreon link. And I have a question for some and just a thought to ponder for others, an inquiry. That's what I should call it, right? And for you, it's about what is honesty and what's deception. And now, I mean those in the broad sense. It is Sagittarius season, so we're going to take it a little broad. And it's about how, up until this point, you've been merging these things together. For those of you who consider yourself more on the people-pleasing side or the very peaceful side, you will need to gain toughness and strength to not always be that way, especially if it's passive. For others of you, because in a way, if you're not being honest about that side of yourself, it's somewhat of deception, no? So if we're taking a look at like where you may be being deceptive to yourself or where something in your life just isn't matching up, whether it's monetarily, emotionally, mentally, any of those places, it's all within the same realm. They're all coming from somewhere that's all linked together somehow. If it's your romantic life, whatever it is. So there's this gaining of trust that needs to happen. There's this doubt that leaks in unnecessary times. You know, too much good, or you know, it's the worst it could be. So like the two extremes is very Sagittarian, but it's also like there's something that wants to be brought together. There's a part of you, or there's a person in your life who is showing you how to trust this process. It could be a Sagittarian, or it could be someone who just knows that this is how life goes. And if it's a Sagittarian, just make sure they're more mature than the ones who aren't. No shade to any of them, but they're a little bit far and few between, especially if they're men or masculine, extremely masculine. That's all I'm going to say. So you're watching Sagittarians, especially if you have one in your life, and I mean, I always do. So if you have one in your life, or you have someone in your life that you outwardly see kind of fumble when it comes to their emotional processing or triggering, and you see them go up and down in certain ways over and over again, and you're beginning to see that it's not by accident that you're witnessing this. When we see certain things that we remember and we don't really know why we remember, but we were there to see it, and we saw the whole thing happen with someone else, or whatever it is, usually it's down the line that will answer why you maybe saw that and why that, you know, stuck with you during this time. And if you're someone who, you know, constantly witnesses someone go through certain things, it's possible that there is some type of connection or frequency where you're seeing it happen because you're attracting it to yourself. So that's like law of attraction, but it's also, I think, a little deeper than that. It goes into our patterns and the frequencies we're around. Like, you'll notice as you change and grow, if you're someone who is in that growth place in your life and you're wanting to grow, you know, you're not just wanting to stay stagnant, you'll see a change in people that come around and don't what people you tend to see more, whether it's a choice or not. You know, you'll notice certain people and you don't like mesh the same, or don't vibe the same, or don't interact the same, or just don't run into each other anymore. And this month, what this is doing is it's trying to take you out of this place of the choices that you're making. So the choice and the things that are disclosed to you now are, and these are what they always are. This is like mainly the root of your decisions. So this is, yeah, it's a big deal, but it's also something that you're keenly aware of to an extent. So even when things are going good, even when things are positive and there's love around and there's so much to be grateful for, sometimes you can find yourself trapped inside yourself and unable to decide between that and being grateful. It's like, why don't you just be grateful? Because I'm a scale and I don't know, because this is so much easier. I know it's so much better, but is it? You know, like, I get you, Libra sun, I get you. Is it? That's what this King of Cups and Temperance is saying to you. This is the Four of Cups. Like, is it? Because, like, I'm offering you this cup. And you keep choosing those, and you keep coming back to this place here. Things are getting better and you are growing, but there's something that's so strong within this certain aspect of your life, or the growing of, faith, growing of anything into the unknown. It's, how do you weigh the unknown? You can't. You can't. So what does a Libra have to do? You have to learn, and you're learning this King of Cups energy, this Temperance energy. You're learning that even if within your head, this specific thing, whether it's your body, the way you look, the people you want to be, the status, or the specific people you want to see, or the specific thing you want to be known for, or the different things you want to accomplish, or the many things you want to try or taste or enjoy, whatever it is to a Libra, because we all have our own idea of what this is. Just go with it. Go with that inkling. This is all that you have to do this month. That's it. This is it. And if you do this, it unwinds something very specific for you. I'm talking to myself here too. All the things that have hurt, of course, come up in the times where you're learning to experience more love, joy. Maybe it's not specifically those things, those feelings, but even if it's more travel or more art or creating more, building something on your own or collaborating with someone, I'm sure you feel some kind of joy or excitement or passion whenever you're in those experiences. So my homework for you is to notice that, like, where you feel those specific positive feelings, and then how the extreme opposite can come up, even if it was years ago, in your brain, in your heart. Why are these things coming up? Take this, of course, and all of this for what you will. But it's coming up to ask you to love maybe those parts as you love your life now. Maybe just acknowledge them for what they will and what they were, for what they were and for what they will do or what they have done. And maybe you open yourself up to understanding that it's okay, and maybe even feeling and letting yourself go through that process. Like, maybe that's where the magic sits for you in the season, because the season is so magical. And what is it that you love about Sagittarius is? Or the fire that this season brings you? It's not just fire for you. It's a time to explore these different concepts or these different ways of thinking and being able to see all different sides. That also depends on the Libra. That's not general. I have met many Libras who can't see beyond their own field. Including myself sometimes. And so at this point, it's kind of time, like, that's what's changing within you. It's almost like, this is great, but this isn't it. This was it, but it's not it anymore. And that's like the thing you can get where people say what they want to say about you, but it's also about yourself and understanding that these things change because you understand along the way that under the umbrella, or under that realm, or under that ceiling of all of these different things you can acquire, or the situations you can be in, the feelings that you experience never stay steady. Do you want them to? You know, how can you continuously experience more of what's fun for you? And if you have no problem doing that, this month is going to be so easy for you. You are probably going to make more money this month than you think you were going to in the beginning. All of a sudden something clicks in you. For a lot of you, all of a sudden something clicks in you. And you realize, like, why am I not being anything other than myself? And do I have to just, like, it's not about being this cardinal wind this season either. Also, like, you don't need to direct the fire either. About, okay, I finally realized it, so now everybody needs to know in, you know, one way, shape, or form. No, just be that when the time asks for it. Save all that extra energy. Just save it a little. Just save it a little. You can really learn from someone who's very wise this month if you so choose. You will find yourself realizing what you can handle and realize what you can't, or what, it's not even what you can handle. It's like, okay, why are you juggling? Why are you in this place? Is this just coming from an insecurity, or like not wanting to let someone else down, or make someone else look at you different? It's not about that. It's like, even if they look at you different, like, they'll get used to it. Can we just talk about that for a moment? If you need a change, and people are around you that are so used to being the same, they will get used to it. They will get used to a different side of you. If they love you and care about you, they will get used to a different version of you. Okay? If they accept you for who you are, they'll get used to it. Just don't go out here like coming at people for no reason. Like, that's different, okay? But if you're wanting to be more of yourself in fulfillment, like beginning to end of reading, the Ace of Cups. This reading is so simple. Don't let it be more than that this month. And if you feel at all that you've closed the doors on yourself, you can't do that. Only God, the universe, source, whatever your words are for, can do that. That's it. This month is more about keeping yourself in the place of I have all my needs, you have all your needs. I expect more than I can imagine. How do I be compassionate and honest when it calls for it? And what can I gain to learn from my ancestors, or the more of the wise? Maybe you try past life regression. Maybe you go into and be guided into a deep meditation ceremony, meditative ceremony, and with certain things or not, and you just want to talk to people who have once lived and who now oversee you and know you. Like, maybe you want to, or you can do it yourself. Maybe you want to sit and connect with a plane that can only give you what this one cannot. What people can't always find for themselves. Yeah, I know. It's a huge one. But it's also like, it's not overwhelming. It's not. You may find yourself feeling safe enough to come to this place. Yeah. You may find yourself feeling safe enough. Okay, Libra? You know, we'll start crying in the next part. We'll cry together. Don't be afraid to reach out to me or people in your life if you feel like you have a connection with someone, in a way that you don't with people who you're supposed to, or that you might have to be around or obligated. And again, you can choose differently even if you feel obligated. You know, people are gonna, need you at your best. No. You'll do what you can, and that's it, right? How do you want to be loved, and what do you want to be known for comes up next. And that feeds this path more ongoing. More information to work with me is below. Thank you for being here. The holidays can be hard. Again, don't be afraid. Use your vulnerability to its strength this month. Create something. I will be as well, so I'll be there with you. My podcast is also below. New episode will be out this month sometime. And we will see you in 2023. Bye, Libra.